Let me take some 4 or 5 key points. And first and foremost is travel and tourism as a major growth engine for any key economy in the world. And as we have all noticed, while the world moved on and has put the pandemic behind, the service sector, travel and tourism business including, is emerging as a major growth engine for the Indian economy. As was demonstrated in Q2 GDP figures of India, where the services sector grew by 9.3%. This was largely contributed by trade and hotels, which grew by 14.3%, clocking a number higher than 100% recovery to FY 2020 levels. People are once again flying in great numbers. Airports are crowded, hotels are well booked, and travelers want to explore, connect, and feel alive through the exhilarating emotion of travel. I think the sector has proven resilience like none other, especially when a fear was inculcated that by going into hotels and restaurants, you were putting yourself to danger of contacting COVID-19. Number 2 is tourism as an employment generator. Tourism is seen as a major driving force for any economy. It is the highest multiplicator of direct as well as indirect jobs. Interestingly, as per the latest World Travel and Tourism Council report, the sector is expected to create 126 million new jobs globally within the next decade, with at least 20% of those coming from the Indian subcontinent. So a nation with young population, with a demographic base like India, I think this is a very good news for the country. Also, it found relevance in all the programs announced by the Honorable Prime Minister himself in the campaign of Dekho Apna Desh, the 50 new destinations, and I fully support what the previous speakers have said, especially Mr. Mohanty. Hopefully 2 destinations of those 50 happen to be coming from Odisha. Now I move on to the third platform, and that is a strong potential for Indian tourism industry. In India, this sector has contributed 7.5% to overall GDP and is one of the biggest employer of human resources, providing 10% of direct employment and impacting livelihoods of millions of others. In this million of others, we include the rickshawala, which takes you to the temple. It takes you the person who carries your bags while you are hiking. It is all the people who are, doing the shikara on the Dal Lake. These are not counted in organized sector, but these are jobs that are directly or indirectly dependent on the tourism activity in the country. The further boost has been happening through the increase in disposable income, and that's why domestic tourism is on the upswing. The tourism sector is well placed to reach $3 trillion by 2047 on the back of this opportunity that we have in India, in its various states, in its diversity, to unlock that potential of both inbound as well as domestic tourism. However, and having said that, the infrastructure in this sector needs to grow together. And one of the requests that we have been making is that tourism should be granted the infrastructure status at the center level and industry status at all state levels, with the highest level of grants, highest level of subsidies, as are applicable to other comparable sectors which create so many lives and livelihoods, or support so many lives and livelihoods. Moving on to Orissa, I think as the previous speakers have suggested, and as the theme of the conference is, I do believe it's a hidden gem. Not so much hidden as is being spoken, or the best kept secret. I think it's just getting the people moving, and I think tourism has proven in the recent years to be an important part of the growth of the state of Orissa. Especially with a 500-kilometer coastline, mountains, lakes, natural biodiversity, rivers, Odisha is also a cultural hub and a premier pilgrimage as well as a wildlife destination. Odisha, as one of the speakers mentioned, has established itself as a sports capital of India. So sports tourism has been given that importance, and with the recently concluded World Cup, I think the entire world could see Odisha live in some of the very important inbound destinations for India. I do represent the Taj Group of hotels and would be very proud to say that Tata Group sponsored the hospitality part both in Bhubaneswar and in Rourkela, and Taj was the one that was servicing. And before we started servicing, we made sure that fire, life, safety elements were taken care of, especially in the newly created facility in Rourkela. I think the India's best kept secret as a tourism campaign has successfully further captured the imagination of the people. The recent Odisha Tourism Policy 2022 lays out the path to develop the destinations holistically, leveraging the natural bounty and the cultural heritage of the state. Indian Hotels is proud to announce the iconic Taj brand in the historic city of Puri, completing the prominent tourism circuit of Puri Bhubaneswar. Other hotels that we have in the state are the Crown, which is on our branding of IHCL selections in Bhubaneswar, and Ginger in Paradeep, which are expected to open over the next 18 months. We currently already operate 3 hotels, the Vivanta in Bhubaneswar, the Ginger in Bhubaneswar, and the Ginger in Kalinga Nagar. There are, however, many potential destinations in Odisha for developing hotels, including further brands of ours in Puri, Bhubaneswar. I mean, it would be an honor for the Taj to be present in the city of Bhubaneswar with one of its iconic assets that we have in other capital cities. Further destinations would include Konark, Cuttack, Gopalpur, and Rourkela. Indian Hotels, with its well-defined landscape, is well placed to support the growth of tourism, to support the development in Odisha, and through other group companies to foster the help in building the necessary tourism infrastructure. Having said that, I think the country is on a good journey, the state is on a good journey, and it is a great opportunity for both Odisha and India to further grow this sector, have growth of jobs in this sector, create value, create wealth, create higher taxes, and create a sense of well-being as well as the connectivity to our spiritual self. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for the opportunity, especially a thanks to Mr. Mohanty, whose perseverance made it possible that I could join all of you digitally. Thank you very much.